My name is Ann Canning. I'm sitting here in High Point, North Carolina, talking to Mama, Muriel Hester Bennett. Today is March the 12th, 2005. Mama, can you tell me when you were born and where you were born?
I was born in Belews Creek, 9 miles from Winston-Salem, April the 21st, 1916.
Tell me something about Mama Hester, your mother.
She was a good seamstress. She made everything. She made even my coats. I didn't have a coat until my senior year in high school, a ready-made coat. She made coats and suits. She made me a really pretty brown suit with a yellow blouse. I think it was yellow. My aunt worked at a clothing store that sold material, and she was always bringing samples home for Mom to make me things. So I always, during the Depression, I was dressed real good. And she made, even after I married, three daughters, before Beth come along, Mama was living, and she made pajamas for y'all out of, she called it chicken feed bags. They'd get chicken feed in these pretty bags, all colors on them, and flowers on some, and stripes on some, real pretty. And she'd rip them open and cut out pajamas and sunsuits and sundresses, and they were real pretty for you girls. So she could sew about anything, and she didn't have to have a pattern. She could see something and sit down and with a newspaper, and cut till she got it like she wanted it, and then she'd cut out a dress or sunsuits or whatever she needed. And for me, dresses, of course, and suits and a lot of skirts and blouses for school.
You said that you were very well dressed during the Depression. Do you remember much about the Depression?
Just that we didn't have money, but we had plenty to eat. And by my aunt working this store, she always brought material to Mom to make clothes. But we had lived on a farm, so she canned a lot of stuff. She even canned chicken. You didn't have fried chicken in the winter, just in the spring of the year when you'd raise them. You couldn't even buy them at stores. So she would can stuff, and we had our hams, our pork, and chickens, and then beef and chicken and pork. And
did you have eggs in the house?
Plenty eggs. We had plenty eggs all the time. And all the canned stuff. Mama always knew just how much to have fixed ahead and in the cellar. I remember one time she said, I need another bucket of pears to make some more pear preserves for the winter. She knew how many cans to have to last through of everything.
What was a breakfast like in your house?
Well, my dad always liked hot biscuits and gravy and some kind of meat and eggs. And
what kind of stove did she cook on?
A wood stove. And we had a warmer, like we called it, at the top. 2 doors, like you could put stuff to keep warm up there over the wood stove. So she would do sweet potatoes a lot of times in the afternoon when I'd come home from school. I could smell them where she'd cooked them and put them up there. So when I'd get home from school, I'd get me a good warm sweet potato. They were so good.
And how did you heat the farmhouse?
With wood stoves. My grandfather, when he died, we moved into the home house. We had a fireplace, huge fireplace. That would...
Did they cook over that fireplace, or was it...
Some, mostly though, on the stove.
Mama, can you tell me about basketball and playing on the team when you were in high school?
We didn't have gyms. All of our schools in the county, there was only about 3 that had indoor gyms. So we had one fixed up outside with 2 goals and marked off like a gym, and that's where we played and practiced. And when it got real cold, once a week we would arranged to go to one of these gyms to play inside to practice. And the county couldn't afford to put one in every schools, so we just had one in 3 in the county. And we played some in Reynolds Gym, mostly tournaments, in Winston-Salem, and they were really nice, because we had played ball upstairs, and downstairs was the dressing rooms and showers. And others in the county didn't have showers, but Reynolds did. We always loved to go there because not many of us had a bathroom. We had an outdoor place to go, and we'd take a bath in a tub, tin tub. We'd heat water on the stove and pour water in it, and that's where we got a bath once a week. We just sponged off other times because it was too hard, too much trouble to do a bath in the tub anymore. So I really enjoyed that hot shower, and I love to go to Reynolds to play.
I bet. Now, what were the games like? Were they the same as women's basketball today?
No, we couldn't run all over the court. We had the forwards stayed on the half court, the forwards of one team, and then guards of the opposite team stayed on that side of the court, and then the others on the other, and you couldn't go across. You had to throw across to your buddies.
Were you a forward or a guard?
I was a forward.
And tell me more about the role you played on this basketball team.
Well, I was a captain the last 2 years I played. I got a letter with a C on it that I was captain. And so that year we won the championship, and so I dropped French so I wouldn't graduate, and I'd go back an extra year so I could play basketball. And another girl, my friend, the same thing happened to her. She was the next best player, they say. So we both went back a second year. Journal Sentinel called it, Journal Sentinel Tournament. That was the paper. And they picked who they wanted to play. And every school didn't get in. And we went every year that I played. And after we'd play, a lot of times they'd take us out to eat.
Ah.
That was a treat.
I bet.
Because not many places to eat in Winston then.
Uh-huh.
Now they're on every corner just about. But there's one near the gym that we could walk to, and we usually walk down there. It's a Greek restaurant.
Ah. I've always wondered about the uniforms that the women's teams must have worn in those early days. Could you describe those to us?
Well, at first, my freshman year, we wore the black bloomer type and a top. But then we went to kind of like they are now, I guess. They were maybe a little shorter and sleeveless. Mm-hmm. The women had sleeveless. And but at first I wore those big bloomers and a top, and they wasn't very comfortable playing.
So the last years you played in something that would be like a tank top?
Right.
Scoop neck and
just a strap across
and short shorts.
Short.
Short shorts.
Right.
What were your shoes like?
Tennis shoes. High top.
High tops?
High top. That's all I had then.
Do you still love basketball today?
Oh, yes. Your dad said I was hooked on it the way I watched it on TV.
Right.
He used to lie and say I was hooked on it. And he liked it too, but he kidded me.